Herzlich willkommen an der Deutschen Botschaft in Stockholm. Gemeinsam Europa wieder stark machen. Tillsammans för Europas återhämtning. Together for Europe's recovery. The motto defines the tasks of Germany's presidency in these challenging times. When the coronavirus prevents big cultural events, we have invited a few guests who will work together for the recovery of Europe and who, with their work, mark the cultural start of our presidency in a symbolic way. German singer Camille Tanze, Slovenian violist Špela Pirnat and Croatian pianist Vladimir Mlinariç, connected via the project Art Circle Residence, have joined together and created a musical program only for this event. The program is called There Are No Borders in Music, and it'll take us on a journey through the seasons of the year, different languages and musical styles. Enjoy.
Very glad you're here, opening of the Presidency concert, because culture is part of our life. It brings us together.
Thank you very much. It's such a pleasure to perform in front of actual people for us. Because I think all three of us have had quite a break now in this time. And for all of us musicians, it's something very, very special to actually play in front of a live public, of course. It's really not the same through the computer, even though we learned many, many things, and a lot of things are more possible than we thought before we had to actually try it. So, as you can see, we are pretty relaxed, and I hope that you will be too, because this concert is quite interactive. So we are going to try different sounds, and I will probably call on you for certain things. Yes, this first piece that we did is in a way the perfect song for what we are. It's the trio No Borders. So this song Somewhere from Bernstein's West Side Story really somehow symbolizes that there's this place somewhere, and it can be anywhere. It can be here, it can be also just in our hearts, that there's this place where we can just be whoever we want to be. And we would also like to take you after this space that can be anywhere. We would like to take you on a little journey, not through space, but a little bit through the seasons, through the year. And so we prepared for you some songs that go with spring, some that go with summer, with fall, and with winter. And in those different seasons, we're also going to look a little bit at how there are similarities and differences between languages, sounds, different musical styles, and also interpretations. And all three of us have actually lived in different countries, in different cultures. We are used to speaking different languages, and this is, as I think also for all of you, something that in music is really normal. We all musicians are so used to actually make music with other people because music is such a universal language. So the first part of this is spring. And if we look at the word spring, and we look at it in different languages, and I'm sure you can help me because I have only 6. If we look at the word spring in English or Frühling in German, then we have printemps, which is in French. That's my second mother tongue. Then we have, of course, primavera, which in a way maybe is a bit similar to French. In Slovenian, where we all are living right now, it's pomlad. And it actually means that becoming young again, which I think is very, very nice. And I learned that in Swedish, it's vår. Is that correct? Yes. So I was thinking that maybe some of you could add another word for spring in a different language, since those are all so different. Is there any other? Amir, in Persian, how do you say spring?
Bahar.
Excuse me?
Bahar.
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 Bahar. Okay.
Same in Turkish. Bahar.
Same in Turkish. Okay. Anything else?
In Albanian,
Yes?
it is branver. Sounds like
French?
primavera.
Or like printemps?
If you cut it into words, it is close to summer.
Yes. Very nice. Anything else? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm picking on you a little bit because I like to learn. Yes?
In Slovak we say jar.
Yeah. That's interesting because that's very far from pomlad, which would I don't know what it is in Russian. I don't know, would you know that?
I know in Russian it's Vesna.
Vesna. Yeah, that's a name in Slovenian.
Vesna, so it's pretty much.
Yeah, it's a name in Slovenia.
Very nice. And you see, like this, we can already start with things that are different, words that are different, but they mean the same thing, and we can start to connect among each other. And this is exactly what we want to do. And so now we are going to present to you 3 different art songs on this theme of spring. And it's interesting because all 3 of them in some way come from Slovenia, even though 2 of them are in German and 1 is in Slovenia. The composer Hugo Wolf is actually seen as a German or Austrian composer, but at the time when he was alive, Slovenia was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. But of course, the city where he was born is now Slovenian. It's Sloven Gradec. At the time, it was Vindiš Grad. And so we have 2 of his art songs about spring, which are very different in character, even though they've been written by the same person. And in between those 2, we put another Slovenian one that is also actually in the Slovenian language by the composer Benjamin Ipavec. So they're all written kind of in the same period, in the same cultural space, but you can hear how there's a lot of difference in how they would interpret this word or this season of spring, which usually, of course, we associate with youth and new love and something that is growing. So let's listen to that. So yeah, this one is quite heavy for being a spring song, isn't it? And so the next one is not much faster, but I think you will understand this wonderful Slavic soul in this next one. Vladimir's big solo tonight. Yes, let me actually take this occasion to present you my wonderful musicians here. So Vladimir Mlinariç at the piano, who has been, I think, we've been working together for at least 12 years. He's been one of the first people I met when I moved to Slovenia, and I was so happy that he speaks many languages because I did not speak Slovene then. And Špela Pirnat on the viola. And it has been a very interesting journey to actually bring together the piano and the viola and the voice, because none of the pieces that you're hearing tonight are actually written for this kind of trio. I don't think there are many trios like ours in the world. And so in those kind of arrangements that we did together, those are all world premieres tonight. So it's all really done only by us, for us, which doesn't mean that maybe we can't still do it better, but it's always work in progress. So for the next two songs, we're moving into summer, and actually it's the same song. It's the same song, but in two completely different versions. This song was actually written originally as an opera aria by George Gershwin, but it is much more famous as a jazz standard. And so we thought that we could present to you the opera version, and then the kind of, I'm not sure if it's jazzy, but it's a version for just viola and voice, which is definitely something special. And so then to just ask you how you felt, like what the differences are. So just try to really observe and listen, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the differences in sound when the voice does opera sounds and the voice does more jazzy kind of sounds. So you can watch my face for the opera and the jazz, and we'll talk about that later. So now Vladimir gets a break. And we practiced this on Saturday already. Right? summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Oh, your daddy's rich, and your mom's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. Then you'll spread your wings and you take the sky. But till that morning, ain't nobody can harm you. With a daddy and mommy standing by. So let me see. Did you see any differences on my face? Yes. What's different? What's happening? Yeah, of course. Yes, the voice. It's not always lower. No. I mean, not me, but yes, the way of singing is very different, right? You have to make an operatic sound. Yes, sorry?
Second part was the jazz.
Yeah, bravo. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, I can invite you to do something with me. Do you know what sound an owl makes? Exactly. It makes ooh like this. And so when we do, you can all try it. When we make ooh, we kind of get a face that's a bit long like that. Ooh. Yeah. Go ahead. Ooh. Right? What?
Tell us to stop.
Oh, no. And so we do ooh, and that will be always more like an opera sound. So when I do summertime, it's always going to be more length because I need that space here in the back in order to make that kind of amplitude, that kind of volume of my voice. And when we do jazz or more pop kind of sounds, I'm sure you all know how babies sound when they're crying. So you can try that. And if you watch my face when I do, you can see that everything is much larger. Okay. So when we do, this is very simplified, right? But this is a real difference between the operatic sound and the pop or jazz is really the way how we open our mouth and how we use the resonance space that is actually behind our mouth here on top of our vocal folds. So, because I was actually thinking about this, I was thinking, why as an opera singer do I always have to look so tense or strange or, like, I have to make all those faces? Can I do opera sound without doing those faces? And I can't. I mean, you can try that at home, but I think there's really a difference in just how you use your resonators and your voice when you want to make that kind of sound. And so I had to just get accustomed with the fact that I just look like that when I sing opera, and pictures are usually not my favorite.
Well, sometimes we aren't singing and we also make faces, so don't worry.
That's true.
It's okay.
But I just wanted to give you a little bit of an insight why opera singers look the way that they look. It's not because they want to make stupid faces. They just need it, because if not, it doesn't sound like that. Alrighty, and with this, we are moving on to autumn or fall. And again, I would like to ask you, where you come from, what do you associate with autumn or fall?
Leaves.
Leaves. Rain. If spring is more like the awakening and everything, then fall usually is more... Anyone else? Speak up. Loneliness. Yes? Lovely colors. Thank you for something positive.
Yellow.
Yes, but it's true that usually autumn or fall is more associated with maybe the memory of something that was in the summer or in the spring, and that was really nice. But because we need to keep those memories alive when we go into the dark season, and I think if you've been living here for some time, then you understand that really well. I've been lucky to leave Sweden again in the winter. But it must be a very interesting experience. So we actually chose 2 very, very different songs for autumn, but they both have this kind of reminiscing about something that used to be, about something that somebody who used to be still alive, because of course autumn is also of course associated with passing away. And so we have one that is written by Richard Strauss. So it's a German art song, which of course is actually for orchestra. And so there is a piano version also by Strauss, done by him. And we added the viola to kind of give a little bit of an orchestra feeling to that. And then there is one that is actually a chanson by a French singer called Barbara. And it was written in 1964. So those 2 songs are not even that far apart, but you can hear that there's a big, big difference in, of course, orchestration and culture. And those chansons, of course, are much more going into the kind of jazz, or it's just their completely own genre. So we'll do the Strauss first, and then Barbara. The title of this song is Aller Seelen, and that is a day in the beginning of November when we think about the people who left. Now let's see if I get through this without crying, and Špela too. The French always kind of gets to us. So this is a song called Nantes.
Madame, soyez au rendez-vous, 25 rue de la Grange au Loup. Faites vite, il n'y a peu d'espoir. Il a demandé à vous voir à l'heure de sa dernière heure. Après bien des années d'errance, il me revenait en plein cœur. Son cri déchirait le silence. Le temps de l'année, longtemps je l'avais espéré. Ce vagabond se disparut, voilà qu'il m'était revenu. 25 rue de la Grange au Loup, je m'en souviens du rendez-vous, et j'ai gravé dans ma mémoire cette chambre au fond d'un couloir. Assis près d'une cheminée, j'ai vu 4 hommes se lever. La lumière était froide et blanche, ils portaient l'habit du dimanche. Je n'ai pas posé de questions à ces étranges compagnons. Je n'ai rien dit, mais à leur regard, j'ai compris qu'il était trop tard. Pourtant, j'étais au rendez-vous, 25 rue de la Grange au Loup, mais il ne m'a jamais revue, il avait déjà disparu. Voilà, tu la connais l'histoire, il était revenu un soir, et ce fut son dernier voyage, et ce fut son dernier rivage. Il voulait avant de mourir se réchauffer à mon sourire, mais il mourut à la nuit même, sans un adieu, sans un je t'aime. Au chemin qui longe la mer, couché sous un jardin de pierre, je veux que tranquille il repose, je l'ai couché dessous les roses. Mon père, mon père. It's a really pretty song, isn't it? Yes. Did you know it before?
Yes.
Because I sang it last time and I cried every time I sang it. Yes, I think if you don't know Barbara yet as a chanson singer, French chanson singer, look into her repertoire because it's absolutely beautiful. With this, we are going to move into winter. because you're probably all getting hungry, and so we need to chop chop. And so for winter, we thought, that we could finally go into something like a really opera, because okay, the summertime is kind of opera, but it's also kind of not. So now we're really going to Italian opera, and since it was supposed to be about winter, and because we come from an alpine region, I could really identify with the heroine of the opera La Valli by Alfredo Catalani. So it's the story of a woman who lives in the mountains, and she has to leave and come back, and there's love, and then people die, and it's like every opera. But it's in the mountains, and there's snow. So since there's snow, we thought, hey, this really goes very well with winter. And so let us bring to you on the 3rd of August a little piece of winter, but it's still very warm because it's Italian winter. Thank you very much. This is actually kind of the climax and end of our program, but you've been listening to me talking. You can probably notice from how I'm speaking that I'm actually a teacher. Yeah, I really, really, really like to combine concerts with something educational as well. And so the last one, this year would have been Beethoven's 250th birthday. And so, of course, we had to include something Beethoven into this program. And we found a little fun song that is very, very... Beethoven really wrote what it is about into the music. And so this is going to be a little exam for you. Or exam. We're going to play you this song, and then, especially for those of you who don't understand German, I would really like to know what you think this song is about. Or who it is about. Any ideas? What is this song about, and why did I all of a sudden have to?
So, I don't know German.
What?
I don't know German.
Yeah, you don't know German.
But can you imagine what it was about?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Something was itchy.
Exactly. It's about a flea.
Yeah, a flea, yeah.
It's about a king who had a flea, and he kind of became friends with the flea. And so, because he was friends with the flea, he made the flea clothing, or he had clothing done for the flea, and then the flea became a minister. And then, of course, nobody in the whole castle was allowed to kill the fleas, and that's why the queen and everybody was really, really suffering a lot. And so the end of the song is, because we all actually, I hope, do not know how it is to have fleas, but we can imagine how it is to have fleas, and we really, really want to kind of itch and scratch and kind of try to kill them. So that's a fun song. By the way, on lyrics by Goethe. It's from Faust. It's a scene from Auerbach's Keller. So it's, even though it is, a pretty, funny scene, it is high German literature. All right, so I hope you're going to enjoy your dinner now. And you all have some paper there on your tables.
The homework is still
Yes, and we had homework,
on.
right? Yes, some people had homework.
Some people have homework.
So I thought it's always very nice. You can sing very, very softly or hold your hand in front of your mouth if you don't want to sing loudly because of COVID. But I think that I sang a lot, and I'm sure you all sing very well. So we could do a little one together. We all know the song. The first chorus is going to be in English, and the second one is going to be in Swedish. Because this.
I'm nothing special, in fact, I'm a bit of a bore. If I tell a joke, you've probably heard it before. But I have a talent, a wonderful thing, 'cause everyone listens when I start to sing. I'm so grateful and proud. All I want to do is sing it out loud. So I say thank you for the music, the songs I'm singing. Thanks for all the joy they're bringing. Who can live without it? I ask in honesty. What would life be without a song or a dance? What are we? So I say thank you for the music, for giving it to me. Mother says I was a dancer before I could walk. And she says I began to sing long before I could talk. And I've often wondered, how did it all start? How far that nothing can capture a heart like a melody can. Well, whoever it was had a fan. Jag säger tack för alla sånger, för ord och toner. Vem behöver religioner? Vem kan leva utan? Men om musik inte fanns, inte någonstans. Alla behöver en sång och en dans. Jag säger tack för alla sånger, ni ger var röst en chans. So I say thank you for the music, for giving it to
Tack så mycket!
Thank you so much. Vielen Dank. Tack so mycket. Jetzt fällt mir auf Slowenisch nicht ein. Hvala vam srdečně. Usually it should be a huge bunch of flowers. I know you are leaving tomorrow already.
Yes.
Vladimir, he just arrived right now and he's leaving tomorrow. And actually, all that they have trained many times for you, only for you. This is such a privilege, and we really honor this so much, and we enjoyed it so much. And for me, it's a miracle that you can transform a whole concert into viola and piano and singing, and we are very, very grateful. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. dinner was promised, but if you look around, there's nothing. So I don't want to disappoint you. We will have dinner, but we will have a little part of art before that, so that they can fill the tables with food. So I would like you to come maybe a bit closer, because we will put a television screen here where you can see the artists who joined us from Australia today to paint the governor. And I would also ask then the governor and also my Australian colleague to come. And this is so unique because last year, Barbara, she went to Australia. We went to 4 government houses. So we have the governor of Linköping, Governor Graf, with us and his wife today, and Linda Ström, who is assisting. And this is so great because we could combine then all the community in different states with culture, with music, with art, with wineries and business and politics, because there is no border in music, and you have proven this. Thank you so much again. And well, I should cry now or finish? Let's decide to cry. Please come forward, talk to them. I will build the television screen instead.